Welcome everyone to all about the Tampa Heal Your Life Workshop Leader Training in Louise Hay's philosophy. And we are delighted that you're interested in this program and want to learn more about it. My name is Dr. Patricia Crane, and I was privileged to study with Louise personally, and long story, it evolved into this amazing training program, and I'll share a little bit more about that later. I'd also like to welcome the amazing Sandra Filer. Hello, Sandra. And
Hello.
Sandra is going to be leading the Heal Your Life training in Tampa. She trained as a workshop leader back in 2006 and in the coaching in 2009. She has just done amazing work with sharing Heal Your Life. It's changed her life, and she'll tell you all about that. And plus, she's helped hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands at this time, help deepen their knowledge about Louise's work and really apply it more deeply to their lives. And we also have with us Alyssa Martin, and Alyssa is this wonderful assistant for the Heal Your Life training. And you are in Pennsylvania somewhere, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And Alyssa did her training as a workshop leader in 2016 and the coach training that same year. And she is just a delightful personality, also loving sharing Louise's work. Now, we really enjoy starting off our webinars with a reading from Louise because her words are just so soothing and beautiful and inspiring. And I'm going to ask Sandra to share what she has chosen to read and to do that.
Absolutely. So today's reading is from Louise's book. Oh, I have a name tag on it too. Inner Wisdom. It's one of my favorite little meditation books by Louise.
Mm-hmm.
And so if those of you on the call just want to get nice and comfortable, if you are in a place that you are able to close your eyes, I recommend closing your eyes and putting both feet on the floor and uncrossing everything. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. I am at the right place. Everything I need comes to me in the perfect time, space, sequence. Just as all the stars and planets are in their perfect orbit and in divine right order, so am I. I may not understand everything that is going on with my limited human mind. However, I know that on the cosmic level, I must be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Positive thoughts are what I choose to think. This present experience is a stepping stone to a new awareness and greater glory. And so it is.
And so it is. That is so beautiful. And it just is inspiring to listen to the wonderful words that Louise has, whether it's that book or You Can Heal Your Life, whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to just tell a little bit more about how the training got started, and then we'll share more specifically about what's going on in Tampa. I had found Louise's book in 1984. I was probably one of the first people that read it because I loved the Heal Your Body book so much. And when I read her book, I just thought, of all the books I've read so far on these topics of personal growth and spiritual growth, Louise's just brings everything together so beautifully, the emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, everything. And so, of course, like many people, I thought it'd be great to meet her. And it was a couple of years later when a friend of mine asked me to a breakfast meeting, and that's where Louise was going to be speaking. So I was able to meet her and talk to her, get on her mailing list. And about 6 months later, there was an intensive, a 1-week training that wasn't for workshop leader training at the time, but it was just really more for the personal growth expansion. And I went to that and the next one, and then Louise asked me to be on the staff for the rest of the ones that she led. And toward the end of that time, she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show for the first time, and she held up You Can Heal Your Life. And of course, it was a bestseller overnight. So Louise called myself and a few others who'd been with her for several years and said, how would you like to do the 2-day Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop and take that out to the places where I'm being asked to speak? I'm just too busy. I can't do it. So you can imagine we were totally thrilled. And that 2-day workshop is the one that now people are being trained to teach. It's so powerful. Thousands and thousands of people have taken it at this point, and again, really deepen their experience with Louise's work. And so I went to several places, being referred by Hay House to do the 2-day workshop. And one of the places I ended up was England. And after I taught the 2-day workshop there a few times, the students started saying, you know, the workshop has changed our lives so much over and above the book. Could you ask Louise for a training program? Well, I'd never thought of a training program. Neither had Louise. So I called her up when I got back to the U.S. and said, Louise, people want a training program. And she said, okay, in this very simple way that she had. And that was the beginning of it in 1995. And now there are, with Sandra, and there are 19 other teacher trainers worldwide, just spreading Louise's work and enabling others to go out and teach it and lead many different workshops to help other people change their lives. So that's the background of the training, and I'm going to turn it over to Sandra now and ask her to share more about Tampa. And also, we do have a chat, and I see someone from Ireland's on the line, someone from Cape Canaveral. That's great. A few others. If you'd like to go ahead and put in the chat where you're from, that would be great as well. Okay, Sandra.
Okay, awesome. So a little bit about the Tampa training is, you know, of course, we're super excited. This is our 3rd year returning to Tampa. And it's an absolutely exciting, transformational, magical week. For myself, just very quickly, the training basically changed every aspect of my life, from relationships to money situations to where I live, how I work, how I operate, how I relate to my family members, how I don't relate to my family members. It's just changed everything. So we are excited about the 7 days that you'll experience in Tampa. And basically, some of the things that we cover during that training is, of course, we make a very deep-hearted connection. And then you'll have the opportunity, if you haven't already done so, to experience the power of Louise Hay's original 2-day workshop. Wow, that is really an amazing experience, especially with other like-minded individuals that are coming with the same intention that you are. So it really amplifies the experience. And then we move into the body-mind connection. We spend a lot of time on prosperity in every way, shape, and form, because our greatest desire is to prosper in all ways. That's our intention. We also work with developing a deeper intuition that serves us in our everyday capacity and, of course, in this work. We also work with developing treatments, which is a very powerful process, of course, that Louise has in all of her books. And we also spend time, because we talk about that you will get the scripts and all of the information to lead up to 14 different workshops. So we not only cover the 2-day workshop, we also cover a 10-week study group format. So you'll get a lot of detailed information about that. We also spend a great amount of time talking about your success, how you can incorporate this into what you're already doing. We deeply discuss marketing and how to go about marketing. And we talk about action steps. Once you're done and you've had an amazing experience and you're so inspired to go out there, we want to help you develop a plan so that you can immediately hit the ground running. And then, of course, there's time for celebration, and we love to celebrate your success and the great week that we've had. And then, of course, our final day together is usually spent on just connecting to all the beauty and everything that we experienced. The event is held very briefly in Tampa, right by the airport, which is really convenient because there's a free shuttle. We meet in the Hilton Garden Inn, and we eat in the Hilton Garden Inn, which is delicious. And then we sleep, and we gather in the evenings at the Homewood Suites. Okay. How about that, Patricia? Did I leave anything out?
No, you certainly have everything in there, and I will say, you know, you said how good the food is at that particular venue, and when you're away for 7 days, the menus and the food are very important, and I know you do a really great job with healthy options, and you know, really working to meet everybody's food needs. So that's great, wonderful. But it's a very exciting week. And again, you know, we do ask that you're very familiar with Louise's work to attend the training. There's an application form that Sandra has on her website, and we have on ours as well, that you would fill out. And we want you to come, you know, with already using affirmations, mirror work, and Louise's techniques to improve your life, and really ready to deepen and learn all the materials that you'll need for going out and sharing with other people. So it's a complete week in that sense. I'm going to talk a little bit later about all the follow-up that we do, but right now I'd like to turn it over to Alyssa, and she can share her experience from her standpoint as not only a participant in the workshop leader training and coach training, but also as an assistant and helping others in their transformation and supporting them through the entire week. So, Alyssa.
Thanks, Patricia. First off, I'm just so honored to be a part of this work. I found Louise at a point where I was ready to get back into spirituality. I definitely was spiritual when I was younger, but in a whole different way. Mm-hmm. And I needed a break from that. And it wasn't very soothing or comfortable. Mm. And so when I refound Louise, her words were like honey to my soul. Mm. And because everything was so gentle and so about honoring your own inner wisdom, like the book that Sandra read from. And so the deeper I got into the work, the more profound it changed my life and my thinking, to the point where people now think I've always been this happy person. And it just wasn't that way. I definitely had a lot of struggles with that. And so when I learned about the teacher training, that it even existed, I thought, oh my goodness, how can I allow myself to take this training? And at first I didn't allow myself. I was in the corporate world and I thought, well, how does this really fit in? And when I finally did allow myself, I remember the first evening that I was sitting there and I just was overcome with tears because, and right back to what you were saying, Sandra, it was like I knew that I was in the right place. And it was just this moment of grace. And then the training that followed was just so beautiful from an inner perspective, and then being able to feel like, okay, I'm part of this family now. Mm-hmm. That means so much to me. And not only that, but I am an ambassador for Louise Hay. Like, how cool is that? So it was an amazing week of training. And by the end of it, I had been looking at the instructors thinking, how do I do what they do? Because I love this work so much. And I want to be as close to it as possible. How do I do what they do? And then I shut myself down. I said, well, don't worry about that. You're in the training. Like, let go of that for now. And like, maybe you'll get there someday. And then I got the call. It was a year later, which was just so amazing to receive that call and be immersed, from Sandra. And I'm just so honored to be by her side. She's an awesome, awesome trainer. And just really everything I love about Louise and Patricia as well is what I really know about the training is that it's not like a corporate environment. You go in, okay, here's your book and study, it is the inner work that we've all come to know and appreciate. Mm-hmm. And it's very, to me, I use the word sacred because it's like, it's fun and it's, Louise always wants us to have fun. Mm-hmm. So there's that air about it, but there's also the sacredness about the way it profoundly changed our life is the way that we now teach it and give it and then watch what it does to someone. And that's up to them how much they, invite it into their life. But in Tampa, it's just amazing to watch, to be that close to the process again, immersed in it and watching other people go through the changes and knowing I sat there, feeling the way that they're probably feeling. And you go through a lot of changes during the week. And the best thing about it, though, is that there's support for those changes the entire time in the faces of not only the instructors and the teachers who are holding the space and taking such wonderful care of you, but also in the other participants and who you get matched up with for exercises and things. It is a profoundly life-changing experience. So I just love it, love it, love it. And I feel so honored and blessed to be part of it.
Great. Thank you so much. And, one of the things Louise always said, and I heard her say it many times, is the only person you ever need to work on is yourself. And so the training is a wonderful combination of that personal growth work so that you have more awareness of yourself and you can make more transitions and more changes within your own life personally, and then the professional part with all the materials that you get. And as Sandra mentioned, the materials, you can lead up to 14 different workshops, all the way from 3-hour workshops to 1 days to 2 days to 5 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever fits your lifestyle and how you would like to share the work in a way that works along with whatever you're already doing. Now, we do offer something unique that I think a lot of programs don't. Many programs sort of wave you out the door and say, bye, have a nice life. And we don't. We do a lot of follow-up with you because, first of all, we really do consider it a Heal Your Life family, as Alyssa said, because it really is. It is a family, and it's worldwide at this point. And so we do a number of things to follow up and support you. I'll talk about those a little bit more later, but just on the chat line, if you have any questions, go ahead and put in your questions, and we would be happy to answer them. What else would you like to know about the week? So I'll just wait there for a moment and see if anyone has a question. And I see we've got people signing in from other places now, which is great. Wonderful.
Very exciting. Very exciting. All the way from Ireland even. That's super exciting. See how worldwide it is?
Yes.
That's so exciting. I can remember when I went to my training in 2006, when I had this whole perception about what it was going to be, because I came from corporate America like Alyssa did. And I had been to train the trainer programs before, so I had this expectation. And then when we sat in opening circle and there were people there from Mexico and India and Australia, and I thought, oh my gosh, look at these people from all over the world. It was like my first really worldly experience. I was just blown away by it all. And the fact that I still stay in connection some, 12, 13 years later with some of my some of my fellow participants in that. It's amazing. It's just, to me, it's just amazing.
It is, yeah. And there are actually Heal Your Life workshop leaders in 71 different countries now, and 41 or 42 U.S. states. So we still have a few states that we want to get people, sharing Louise's work, but 71 countries worldwide. I think that's pretty amazing. And back when I first got in connection with Louise to go to the intensives that she was doing at the time, that was before email and internet were just, so widespread. There was email, but people didn't use it very much. And people from all of those countries you just mentioned came to the intensives that Louise did that had about 100 to 150 people. And when you think about it, back then, that was with people writing letters. It seems a little archaic now, but now we have these wonderful, wonderful things. So let's see.
We do have questions coming in.
Okay, would you go ahead and read a question?
Yep, absolutely. So from Barbara, is there an opportunity to role play and practice speaking?
Okay, Sandra, would you like to answer that one?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking, Barbara. There are opportunities during the week for just that, just what you're asking. We do have a lot of different ways in which we practice with the materials, and we get even more familiar and deeper with the different exercises and processes. So you absolutely will have an opportunity to do quite a bit of role playing and processing. And there will be an opportunity for you to practice speaking. And this is how we also operate in Tampa, is that if you have a wish on your heart, something that you feel you need even more practice with, we hold the space for you to do that. So if there's something during the week that maybe someone needs more clarification around or would like some more experience, last year we had a process that we actually did in room because we had someone ask to go a little deeper and farther. So if ever there's a need or a want or something you need a little more of, just come to the crew and we'll make it happen.
Great, thanks. And let's see, there's
Awesome.
one, looks like Barbara as well. Curious to know income potential when providing the workshops and seminars, and I'd like to answer that one. It's really quite variable. A lot of it depends on how much energy and time you would like to put into, some of the marketing ideas that we have and things. And also what we found over the years of doing the training is that if you already have some kind of practice of any kind, it could be traditional therapy or Reiki, massage therapy, whatever it happens to be, if you already have a practice of some kind, it's actually easier to get everything started because you already have a group of people that know and love you. So if you don't have, a mailing list right now or some group that knows you, we encourage you to do more of that before you even come to the training and let people know that you're coming. But it's hard to, give you that example because it is so variable. Some people are very active right from their very beginning. Some people are, taking more time to get familiar with the materials. But what you can know is that we do a lot to support you in getting going. So, once you're at the training, and I'll talk about the licensing in a few more minutes, but we have a Getting Started series. There are private calls like this that Sandra and Alyssa will be doing specifically for the Tampa group. We have a Facebook private group for the worldwide community, and we do a lot with that to answer questions, to support people. Once a month, Sandra and I do something called Third Thursday. We introduce a topic, I do a video, and we have everybody sharing about that particular topic, whether it's, what kind of titles are they using that are generating the most interest besides just the Heal Your Life title, what programs are they doing that seems to generate the most. So we get a lot going on those Third Thursdays, don't we, Sandra?
Yeah, we do.
Information then, yeah. And we're always available by email. A lot of people after a program, again, they don't get a lot of contact from the trainers and the past training, but we really do want to change the world. This isn't just about a training and saying, okay, have a nice life. We really are very dedicated to sharing Louise's loving yourself message and loving others message because the world needs all of this so much. I mean, you can look out there and just see how much people need it. So that.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to share because it's a proud moment, super excited about it, is that one of the gals that went through April training this past year, to give an example, like Patricia said, when you have already an existing community or contacts, she's a member of a Reiki organization, and the Reiki organization just had a women's retreat. And so she had the opportunity to present a short 3-hour, which is wonderful format, of You Can Heal Your Life to the Reiki ladies that were attending. And her fee was $80 for the workshop. And she had 30 women that attended. So in 3 hours at that retreat, her income earned was $2,400. So we were really, excited about that for her because, of course, like Patricia said, depending on your level of activity and intention, it can be whatever you want it to be. And Erica went all out, and we were celebrating her success because she's brand new and made that happen. So anything is possible, and it's just really about, what you desire out of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, putting out your intentions, your visualizations, we go through that. We provide you with an attraction meditation, so there's a lot there. And Barbara's also asking, I'm not quite sure exactly are there proprietary compliance insurances? We have an insurance policy that's required for people in the U.S. and Canada, but I'm not quite sure what you're saying about that. If you're asking about whether you have to stay with the Heal Your Life materials, we do have some guidelines on that in terms of how you're incorporating it with anything else. But for the most part, we do want you to promote it as Heal Your Life based on the philosophy of Louise Hay. And then again, in the U.S. and Canada, we have a group insurance policy that was actually required by Hay House. And so you come into that, and it covers you for not only personal liability, but professional liability, and it's only $150, which some people were paying over $300 before we got the group license, a group insurance policy. Yeah. Okay.
There's a couple of questions from Gerat or Gerate. I apologize for the pronunciation. But so when will this course be? And do you have online courses?
Okay. Sandra, why don't you go ahead and answer that?
Okay, fantastic. So the Tampa training is going to be held in April of 2019. The dates are Saturday to Saturday, the 20th through the 27th. And the answer to if we offer it online, no, we do not offer it online. And the reason for that is because of the level of the depth and richness of this training could never be done in an online course. This is a truly hands-on, hearts-on.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like to say about this experience is that it's not just when you're in class. It's not just from 9 to 6 every day. It's while you're at lunch. It's while you're walking to the workshop. It's while you're after hours sitting by the pool or the bonfire. Healing and life transformation happens all during these times during that week. So we require everyone to stay on site so that we can be together in this little bubble of love and healing for 7 amazing days.
Yeah. See. And what I will add to that is that after the training, if you want to do something online with partial materials, you can still do that. It doesn't go as deep emotionally when you do it, online, but we do have some options where you can share the materials with a Zoom meeting kind of like this, or with teleconferences if you'd like to do a teleconference. So that's an option afterwards, and we do give you the guidelines for that, so you're very clear about, what you can do online and what would need to really be done in person. Okay. Nope, Barbara, you do not need to reinvent the world or the wheel, for sure.
Anyway, that's the great thing. I mean, Patricia's manual is so thorough. I mean, it has everything word by word by word by word. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. My word of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that's part of my background from, what seems like another life, and how to write manuals like that very clearly. I will say to everybody on the line, though, we don't expect you to sit there and read the manual. We want you to put your own flavor into it and your own experiences, especially. Chicken Soup for the Soul books, why they're so popular is because they're such personal experiences. And so when you're teaching, we really encourage you to share, did your health improve? Did your finances improve? Did your relationships improve? Certainly loving yourself improve, because that's the focus of Louise's work. But we really encourage you to share your personal experiences, because those really inspire people. And when they hear those, they go, okay, so I can take the application of Louise's work, the mirror work, the affirmations, visualization, the forgiveness work, and apply them to my life and have these changes happen as well. So that part is really important for you. And we have one little very practical tip, and that is to get a music stand to put your manual on and put your materials on. So it's really easy to, go through them and to glance down and see what is next. Because that will really help you, just as a little practical tip. Okay, any more questions? We're happy to answer any more questions.
Can I add what I love about the material as well,
Sure.
the manuals and what we're given?
Sure.
Since there's no questions at the moment, is that, like Patricia and Sandra are saying, you have everything you need, and then it'll even say, interject your own personal example. Mm-hmm. And what that has allowed me to do is really then, as I'm preparing to lead a workshop, then I'm still doing the inner work. It's like this work, mm-hmm. By teaching you are continually going through it, right. And just realizing, wow, I guess that's how far my thoughts have come on that subject. Or no, I'd like to do a little more work on that. And that's another feature that is really cool, is because Louise's work goes into healing all areas of your life, you can say that you are really connected with financial prosperity in the way that you either you want to enhance yourself around it, or maybe you're a financial planner and now you want to hold courses on it. So now you can tap into that piece and really move forward with that being part of your brand, your personal brand. So it fits in with all brands. You know, I'm not a financial planner, you know, so I teach the financial piece as part of the whole, but what speaks to me is different than what speaks to other teachers. And so we get to put our own flavor and really teach from our personal experience around it.
Yeah, which is wonderful. That's great. So I would like to just talk about the licensing program now, because that wasn't in place when I first started with Louise. When Louise first approved the training, it was with a hug and a handshake. And that was absolutely great, you know, back then. Business was a whole lot different, wasn't it, before we had the internet and things like that. And so as time went on, a few things happened. Business was getting a little more complicated in some ways. And also, Hay House did the You Can Heal Your Life movie with Louise, which has really, really been popular. And we encourage, actually, the people who come to the training, we encourage them to use that movie as a free movie night to introduce people to more of Louise's work, and also, you know, to inspire them to come to the workshops. And so after that movie became so popular, Hay House decided to trademark You Can Heal Your Life and Heal Your Life. And their trademark lawyer called myself and my husband, Rick, we co-lead the trainings, or have been in San Diego, and said, you know, we know that you're out there teaching, and we wondered if you would like to come into a licensing program with Hay House so that your groups would be the only ones to be able to use the trademark terms Heal Your Life and You Can Heal Your Life other than Hay House. Well, what do you think we said? We said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So we started with that. My husband Rick created a logo that's also trademarked worldwide. And that licensing program with Hay House on a yearly basis, which comes through our company, Heart Inspired, that is $99. And that covers you to use all the copyrighted materials and all the logos that are trademarked. And that is a yearly fee that is ongoing. However, each year, there are also additional perks that come along with that. And for example, you get a brand new 3-hour course every year that's worth more than $99 that you can teach when you renew your licensing. But the licensing program has really been a wonderful addition to the program. It's another level of professionalism beyond just certification with, you know, the certificate that you get. And it also allows us to advertise through Hay House. Sandra and I think Alyssa, you're going to be in Las Vegas as well, right?
Yes.
You're going to be in Las Vegas?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if any of you are going to the Hay House Live event in Las Vegas, the beginning of November. 3rd and 4th. Okay, the 3rd and 4th. If you're going to that, absolutely look for, I don't know if Sandra's hair will still be purple and aqua then, because she does tend to change it. But the table is usually covered in purple. So, you know, look for the Heal Your Life table, and you can go talk to Sandra and Alyssa and a couple of the other teachers as well that will be there. And we've always got a table at the Hay House main events like that. So we look forward to anybody coming to those to say hi. Let's see, someone named Karen had her hand up. And Karen, where are you and what would you like to ask us? Oh, what is the cost of the Tampa training? That's what she put in here.
Yes. Okay. So the investment in the Tampa training, and right now we are in the time frame of early bird registration. And during the early bird registration, you are able to save $400 on the tuition. When you opt for double occupancy and share a room with someone else, and the rooms are wonderful. They're full suites. They have a full kitchen. They have a nice little living room, 2 amazingly comfy beds with the most awesome pillows. Like, I never want to leave. I have the best sleep ever when I'm there. So the suites are wonderful. They're very roomy, and you have and when I say full kitchen, you even have a full-size refrigerator, which is not very heard of oftentimes in a hotel. So that allows for people to shop for groceries, and the hotel also offers a free grocery shopping service where while you're away, they'll do your shopping and they'll deliver it for you. And there's no service charge for that. So it's just a really nice way if you want to stay in one evening. So the investment when you do room with someone, the early bird registration price is $42.95, $4,295. And that does include all of your hotel stay, almost every one of your meals, and it also includes a free shuttle that runs back and forth to the hotel almost 24 hours a day. Let's see. And then if you opt for your own single room, there is an upcharge, and that upcharge is $575. How the payment plan works is that you can either pay in full, of course, or you can go ahead and secure your deposit, which is $895. And again, when it's made by January 31st, you get that early bird pricing. And then what happens is the balance due is typically paid in 2 installments. And one of those is due in early March, and the other one is due in early April.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sandra. And there's also a question on here about what price are the courses. And I think what Drotte from Ireland I think what you're asking is how much can you charge afterwards for the workshops that you're doing. We have some suggested amounts in the manuals, but it's really completely up to you. And usually the suggestion for like the 2-day workshop is anywhere from $199 to $395, depending on where you're holding it, what your expenses are. Some people actually even do a weekend retreat, and so that would be more because you're paying for, hotels or the retreat center and the meals there. So a lot of it's up to you, and whatever, if you look around in your own communities, what people are charging there, and that doesn't mean you have to, charge what they are charging, but it just means it gives you kind of an idea. And what we are finding, because in Ireland, of course, you're using the euro, is that the absolute numbers in each country are about the same. So $179 or $199 in the US to start for the 2-day workshop would be really similar to 199 euros or 199 pounds or 199 Australian dollars. So, it's about the same in terms of the absolute numbers, but of course, in the exchange rate, it's different. So, but you can actually decide what you want to charge. And some people have decided, really want to make this, really show the value of what Louise's work is. And so they might charge more. We encourage you not to charge too little because you're making a pretty significant investment in, your training. And also you really want to value the power that Louise's work has. So every once in a while we see somebody offering a study group, for like $10 for an evening, and that's really too low. So we talk to them about really valuing their own time and also the value of Louise's work. But ultimately it's up to you what you want to charge. We do encourage you, though, to do some free movie nights or low-cost movie nights just as an introduction. And we've had people that had up to 40 people in an intro movie night that, of course, then you're also, you have a flyer for whatever workshop it is that you're offering after that. So, and Sandra, I know you used a lot of small meetings in people's homes to really let people know about the work. So why don't you talk about that? Because, you were doing the forerunner of the meetup groups. And that was a meetup group.
Exactly. I know. It is crazy. I transferred it over to a meetup platform. Yeah. So what I did is when I got done with my training, I was so excited that I did start out leading workshops right away. And then once I led my very first workshop, what I realized is that I wanted more and I wanted to stay together. I wanted people to have an opportunity to have a place that they could continue to come back to share their success, to share their ahas, to share their, oh my gosh, can you believe that happened? All those great moments when we sit back and we go, this stuff really works. Oh my gosh. So I created what was called the Love Circle. And every month we would meet on the third Monday and we would meet in somebody's home. That ended up morphing into, I loved it so much that when I began leading study groups, I did it out of someone's home. it just worked out really great because number one, your overhead is super low. You're in somebody's house. And usually people have nice cozy couches and pillows and, it's homey and comfortable, and it doesn't necessarily be sterile. And, while we may envision, and it's perfectly good if you do, holding it in a hotel like the training is. However, keep in mind, hotels come with high cost.
Mm-hmm. They do.
In Tampa, I pay 23% gratuity on all services. So all of that gets factored into your bottom line when you're offering. And what we want is to find a way for you to reach the most people that you can reach and touch and change their lives, and also feel perfectly personally rewarded in every way possible.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? Or if there aren't, Alyssa, is there anything else you would like to add about your experience with actually going out and leading the workshops?
I don't see any questions in the chat. Yeah, I think that when I think about what to charge, again, I consider everything that you've both shared. And, you just got a nice, beautiful compliment, Patricia. Did you see that in the chat?
Thank you.
You carry Louise's energy. I agree. One of the other things that I think about is some of the places, as Sandra was saying, if you have it at someone's home or your home, no overhead, meaning, if I have it at one of the locations nearby, typically they're asking for 30 to 35%. And sometimes they're helping me market. They have their own email list. And sometimes they're putting it on Facebook for me. Sometimes I'm doing that. So it depends. Each place has their own style. The other thing I consider is what kind of preparation am I doing for this? And what kind of goodies am I going to have? Like, I used to give out calendar pages, so we know Louise Hay's calendar. Mm-hmm. And that used to be what I used to give out to just see, what's your message for the day? Mm-hmm. And that was no overhead for me. I'm already getting the calendar for myself. But if I want to give people a card from Louise's card deck, well then, what do you have, Sandra?
I'm willing to change and grow.
Beautiful. And that's something that they can continue to put on their fridge or on their desk, and they will always remember that, the workshop that you taught, where you gave it to them. Mm-hmm. So then I started thinking, I'd really like to invest in giving them a goodie or something. So then I can think about that when I go to set my pricing. What have I put into it in terms of time and energy, and then the goodies. So also in Tampa, which was not mentioned, is swimming pools. And the weather. Well, I'm from Pennsylvania, and hence the long sleeves right now. Woo! And so I just love the weather in Tampa. It's typically really nice. And there's a pool, and then the neighboring hotel that we can use their hot tub. And I love it. So there's a lot of extra amenities at the training to soothe your soul while you're going through the training.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. And Joy Belanga has raised her hand. Joy, are you going to ask a question on the chat, or can you come in on audio? I'm not really sure, actually. This is only my third webinar, so I'm not really sure about, but whatever, if you can do the chat, it's on the right-hand side. We would be happy to answer your question. There's a question here. Where do I get the cards? Sandra?
hayhouse.com.
Right.
Lots of great affirmation cards on Hay House, and some of them are also downloadable onto your telephone if you are just using it for personal use. So visit hayhouse.com.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. And I don't see a question from Joy, so I'm not really sure about whether or not you can ask a question on here, to tell you the truth. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, okay. Well, put it on the chat if you can, and if not, what else?
Barbara.
Is there anything else? If anyone else would like to ask a question, and this says, okay, Sandra has a great website. Everyone, okay, good. Yes, you do.
Compliments are rolling in. I like it.
Oh, I like that. It's like a regular affirmation bath over here.
Absolutely, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
let's see. Is there anything else, Sandra, that you would like to add about the training?
That's what I'm just thinking about.
Now,
how about if they think of questions later?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you think of questions later, certainly send us an email. My email is thehappygoddess@gmail.com. Easy enough. We're always here to answer questions. You can also shoot me a text if that works better. My text number is 713-201-2020. That's usually the fastest way I see messages because my phone's typically beside me when I'm working. What else? Patricia talks about the movie night, which is a really fabulous way of going about sharing this work. And during the Tampa training, something that we do is we run a mock movie night so that in addition to us telling you how great it works, you can actually experience how it works while you're at the training. And yes, we even serve popcorn.
That's great. That is great. Okay, and actually, Joy, I don't actually know how to unmute you. I'm so sorry. And Joy actually did do the training a number of years ago. So that's one thing. This is only my third webinar, and I've got a mute and unmute that just does me. So I have to unmute me. Can you hear me now?
You too, Joy.
Yeah. Joy, great to see you. Yeah, Joy did the workshop training, I don't know, I forget how many years ago, but she's been traveling the world ever since and doing amazing work out in the world. So, Joy, that's great. Yeah. Okay. And actually, Maribel, there isn't actually a San Diego training scheduled. And so we're going to talk to Sandra. She might be willing to come out to San Diego and do one, but right now it's the Tampa one, and we will keep you posted. So those of you who are on this webinar, most likely you did get the email from my email, but then Sandra's was in there for the webinar registration. So you will have her email to get back to her, and I'm available to answer questions as well. We're happy to do that. We'll probably do another webinar sometime, maybe in January, Sandra.
Yeah, that'd be great. This is fun.
However, we do recommend that you go ahead, if you're really committed to doing this training, go ahead and actually, make your deposit and really get started on it. You'll get some emails from Sandra after that, and that'll have some more information for you. So any last words, Sandra, would you like to have before we close the webinar?
I am looking, every year we look forward to this training, right? It's a whole year in the making.
Yeah.
And I'm just more excited than ever before. Every year just keeps getting better and better and better because we're just more and more excited. And, like Patricia said, if it's on your heart and you're here, there's a reason you're here. And it's the right place and the right time. Join us because we absolutely would love to welcome you into the family. And the sooner you do get connected, the more support we can even begin to give you from right now on until the day we meet you in the opening circle.
Okay, and so it is. And also, Alyssa has posted Sandra's phone number there, so you've got that. And yes, there will be a replay video that we'll be sending out to everybody so you can see the beginning if you missed it. And just in closing, I'll close with some of Louise's words when she says, "In the infinity of life where we all are, all is perfect, whole, and complete, and all is well in our world." And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. So thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to answering any questions that you have about the training. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lots of love.